How you doing? This is Dr. Willie Jolley.
And this is Dee Taylor-Jolley.
We're the authors of the book, Make Love,
Make Money.
Make It Last, 10 Secrets for Shaping a Great Marriage. And I'm very grateful. Oh, I got a little piece of flour in there. Anyway.
That's my fern.
That's your fern.
That's my fern.
Oh, I'm not supposed to hurt your fern.
You're not supposed to hurt the
I'm
fern.
so sorry.
Oh, it knows that you don't care. I'm so sorry. He's not compassionate about my little flower.
When we were dating, and
I had lots of flowers.
Oh my, he had lots of flowers. He talked to the flowers. What happened?
Large and growing. I married you. That's what happened to the flowers.
Hey everybody, Dr. Willie Jolley, and we're grateful to have you as our guest at our home studio. People say it looked like our kitchen. It does. It is, but it's also our studio. We have found a way to make this pandemic work, and it's working good, and so we're grateful. Well, we are grateful that you're here on this Valentine's Day. This President's Day.
This is President's Day.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day was yesterday.
Valentine's Day weekend.
We're talking about keeping the Valentine love and romance going.
Yes.
And this is the day after Valentine's Day.
So we want you to do a
couple. The love is still in the air.
The love is still in the air. Lord have mercy. We want to reach millions and millions of people. And last week we had so many people from overseas, around the world, who joined us from Scotland, and we've had people from France and Greece and the Caribbean. So join us in every way we can. So I'm Dr. Willie Jolley, and I'm grateful. Real quick, I want to say I gave a good message today for those who might not have, who are not on my newsletter. You should all be on my newsletter. It's free. Hey, good evening, Marie Keene. How you doing? You should be all on my newsletter.
So how do they get on the newsletter?
Go to winwithwillie.com. Winwithwillie.com.
And why should they be on your newsletter?
Because every day I send out a 1 minute positive, powerful, impactful, motivational message. And today's was no exception as we celebrate President's Day. And my message was, don't let failure stop you. Failure is part of the success journey. And those who refuse to fail often are the ones who will win. Yet those who let failure block them, stop them, often will not reach their potential. There's a story of a guy who failed in business at age 21. He failed again at age 24. His sweetheart died when he was 26. He failed in his first legislative race at 31. He failed again in a legislative race at 34. He failed again in business at 38. He failed at a congressional race at 32. He failed at another congressional race, 38. He failed, 38. 38. He failed in his attempt to become Vice President of the United States at 47. And he was elected President of the United States at 52. His name was Abraham Lincoln.
And there's this Abraham Lincoln series that's on now. What, on CNN?
Uh-huh. So I'm encouraged.
You have such a good memory. I'm so proud of you. You're so smart.
I get a goodie tonight?
You get a goodie. Just like you got last night. Which was Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day. A special gift. I got a special gift. And it was well worth Valentine's Day. It was well worth the wait. Hey, Greg and Linda Kazera from West. Good gracious, they're in Florida today. They've been in West Virginia half the time, Florida.
Oh,
we don't know where they're going to be. They're all over the place.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, welcome, welcome. So we are glad to be here. We're going to talk about how you keep the love growing and going even after Valentine's Day.
I think they probably know. They just need to be reminded a little bit.
Hello, sweetie pie.
Hi, sweetheart. Thank you so much.
A flower.
A rose is it's so tender.
Tell them about your rose and rock.
Oh, you like that, huh?
I like that.
You were wondering, what was I going to do with those
I
two
like
things?
that. I'm going to let her tell you about the rose and the rock.
In terms of conversations.
Yes.
The main challenge in relationships, we know, sex, money, and communication. And the common thread is communication or the lack thereof. And communication is not just words, it's the deeds, it's the feelings, it's how you look at each other, it's all of that. And so there are two ways that you can communicate your desires, your wants, your information. And the goal is always to positively influence your mate. We don't always agree, but we're always trying to influence the other. So, what is the best way to influence your mate? Is it with the sweet smelling rose? Or is it with the rock upside their head? So, do you offer them the rock? This is what you should be doing. I know, right? It kind of repels you, doesn't it? But if I offer you a tender rose, not with the thorny sides either, but just a tender rose and the sweet smell, it draws you closer to me.
I noticed there are no thorns on these roses. They're thornless.
I worked on that. Which says in communication, you're constantly working on the relationship. And what does it take to influence your mate?
Yes.
Because you care. So I can't influence you if I don't know enough about you in terms of your wants, in terms of your needs. Once I know what your wants and needs are, because I've studied you, I'm able to lean in and have sweet conversation with you.
Sweet conversation.
Because I'm like that sweet rose. I don't need a rock. I don't need to fight. Because I am going to influence you because of what I have learned about you and what your needs are. And as a result of that, we can work it out. You're so silly.
Make my toes curl.
So, are you offering your mate the rock or are you offering them the rose? It's always your choice. And our goal is to always work at influencing the person that we love.
She's good. You see why I married her? You see, that's good. That's good. That's very good. That's very good. That's very good.
I've learned that over the years.
You have learned well. I was just on a program tonight with my dear friend, Bishop Joe Peoples, and his beautiful co-pastor, beautiful bride, co-pastor Yolanda Peoples, for the kickoff of, I was a surprise guest for the kickoff of their financial freedom and financial literacy class. The lady who was supposed to speak got COVID, and he called me like 5 o'clock and said, I need you. I said, well, I just got to be able to be out. I had he called me about 4 o'clock. We had a 5 o'clock. We've been doing shows every day.
Relationship shows, actually.
Oh, we've got to see some of them. We were on the Armstrong-Williams show.
Which ran twice.
Yeah, Saturday and Sunday, and that was national. And if you can catch that, but if you go, we just put the link up on jollymarriage.com. It's a really good interview.
So there are a couple of them. So we've been doing more, and so our goal is to do even more.
But
that one was hilarious.
That was great.
Armstrong Williams did not get.
He did not say a word. That was amazing.
We've been on his show before, and he will always ask a question out of left field. Well, we got him this time.
Yeah. It was great. So y'all can go to jollymarriage.com to see that interview. Anyway, then tonight we did an interview with Rushawn McDonald, who was Stephen Harvey's manager for many years. Now he has his own television and radio program on XM and television. And we did an interview with him.
He was such a great interviewer.
He read that book.
He actually read the book and talked about my 280Z I had.
That's how he started. He said, tell us about that 280Z. And that whole
I said, Willie drove it into the ground.
Yeah, that's true. And then right after that, I did the Rushawn. Then I did the program for Bishop Joe Peoples and co-pastor Yolanda Peoples at City of Praise for their financial literacy. You gotta get the recording if they have it available. I talked about the 5 ways of thinking about money. I talked about credit cards and how to stay away from them. Talked about debt, about investments, about savings, about my 10-10-10 financial formula. It's very good. How you create wealth. I talk about financial freedom, goal setting, entrepreneurism, multiple streams of income. And then I talked about how to use your money to get your dreams. And how I bought mine, and to say this without any brag, I bought my Tesla by years ago, starting to buy Tesla stock and just kept buying it until it continued to grow. And before people were into it, and then it split and it shot up, and I took my profit off the table and bought my car. That's what I did. And so we talked about that, and then how you to get what you want in life. So great class tonight, great kickoff. Baring Mona, want to say hello. She said, I remember it only takes a minute to change your life. She read that book 9 years ago, and now I'm soaring like an eagle. God bless you. We're so glad to hear that. Yvonne and listen to me every morning on Get Up Mornings with Erica Campbell. And
congratulations. This Yvonne's oldest son is getting married in September.
She's getting the book for her oldest son. Get 2 copies, one for him and for his new bride. It'll help their marriage. And
it'll answer some very practical
questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So welcome everybody, wherever you are. IG, welcome. Facebook. Okay, let's talk about how to keep the romance alive.
I'm gonna make some assumptions that you already have romance. You just want more. You want to maintain it.
Well, you know, people get really romantic.
A couple of ideas to help you along the path.
Yeah, people get romantic on Valentine's Day, and it's like it's this spike in romance for Valentine's Day, then it disappears. It just flitters away.
Because you don't have time.
Well, don't have time, or don't have that intentionality.
You don't have the intentionality because you don't have time.
Well,
or you have not made
time. But we make time.
Yes. But
we got plenty of time to do that.
But it's because of our practice. We've done it so long, it is now a habit. I pass by you and I pat you on your butt.
That's right.
That's a habit. Pass by you, feel up your shirt. See, that's a habit.
There you go.
That's something else. Go by and give them a squeeze. I learned how to do that.
That's right.
And you gave me positive reinforcement by saying that you like that, right?
That's exactly right.
Yes.
So anyway, we want to encourage you to go to jollymarriage.com, get a free chapter from the book, jollymarriage.com.
And the chapter relates to communication, which really is our number 1 problem. So
right.
How to keep the romance alive after Valentine's Day is over.
Yep.
I said words and deeds that lead to romance. So the thing that I'm doing is actually turning these ideas into articles, and then you'll be able to go to jollymarriage.com and actually read the articles, because I actually do the research. Actually.
And you know, people have asked, how is it that y'all been married 36 years, haven't had an argument? And we say,
because I'm an angel. I love that. Yes.
She loves saying that. Yeah, you are an angel, but it's because we had made the decision that we learned the principles that work to keep us from have kept us from arguing, but took us from arguing. We did earlier in our marriage, and the first couple of years.
We learned how to positively communicate, so that we could positively influence each other.
Absolutely.
And for us, the communication part also dealt with him not hollering at me.
And
that I was not going to threaten him. Threaten him like leaving. But you know, which is really, really kind of stupid, because we were only married a couple of years. I was going to leave you and go where? Where was I going to go? I was living in the attic of your mother's house, and my mom and dad lived 3.5 hours away, and we had a baby. I mean, you know,
right.
People say things because they're upset. It's emotional. It's not logical. Right. And I think about that now. I'm like, that was dumb.
Well, you know, that's where we were. When you're angry, you make poor choices.
Yes.
And you say things that you can't take back. Look, words are like toothpaste. Once they're out, you can't bring them back into the tube. So that's why you got to think about what you say. And we are very careful to think about what we say.
And it gets easier over time, though.
Yep.
Because we have basically removed what I think are negative words. Like, we would never say, you know, you are a stupid person or something.
No.
We wouldn't do that, because I remember I was giving a program. I was speaking for a women's group, and one question the lady said was that, what do you do when your husband acts stupid? Your husband is really stupid. She, by the way, was pregnant. And so I thought, and I was like, well, if your husband is stupid and you married him, what does that make you? So I need to remove that from my, if I were you, from my vocabulary. How you speak about your mate. That, you know what, that gets to the announceable. I've been thinking about that. We had mentioned that word, the announceable spouse.
The announceable marriage.
Or the announceable marriage, but the announceable
spouse.
Think about that.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, that kind of gets to, what's the word that people used to use? You got to catch. You want people to know who you married.
Right.
You
so
got,
tell them what this
like
announcement.
You got like arm candy.
Tell them what that came from. We were doing an interview.
We were on an interview, and the interviewer said, you have an announceable marriage. I was like, oh, look, I have to write that down because I don't know what that is. An announceable marriage. And he said some of his partners, he is not married. He's a man about town, and some of the people that he runs with, he didn't know they were married. How does that happen? Until the pandemic hit, then he's not running with his partners, and his friend is at home. He didn't know he had a wife. How is that possible? Somebody you've been hanging out with all this time. So he said, you know what? You guys have an announceable marriage, because Willie tells everybody everywhere when he's out and about, when he's delivering programs, that he's married to Dee. Right. So how did you make that happen?
And you know what? One of the things that we've had so many people talk about is the fact that we have been married for 36 years. We are open about the fact that I love her, and I say it publicly. Most time people find that very odd, that I talk about my wife publicly from the stage wherever I am, and I'll say, we've been married for 36 years. I would crawl over broken glass for this woman. And if she leaves me, I'm coming with her.
But you know what? That provides me with security. I like what Yvonne just said. No quick responses. I tell my husband now, I am thinking before speaking.
Ooh, that's good. That is good. That is good. The
first thing that comes out of your mouth, I mean, you're like, I don't need to say that, because I already know that several steps down the road, the comment is not going to be good.
Right.
It's kind of like playing chess. And that's one thing that we did. We didn't play chess. We watched a
seven-part series.
I've never done that.
We've never done that.
So we had a long date weekend.
Right.
It was amazing.
So what does it take to have a great
several thinking?
So
several moves ahead.
An announceable marriage, and then that when you're going to keep the romance burning. We want to talk about some of the principles from the book, and particularly in the chapter about always date your mate. Always date your mate. If you want to keep your marriage fresh and renewed and exciting.
Well, I think that's how you make it announceable, that you're happy to let other people know that you're married to this person.
So one of the things we've been stressing, we stress it over and over and over again, date night. Date night. A date night. You need a date night. Now, people say, well, we had a date. Look, we could have said we had a date night watching this 7-part series. We did it together. But that was not our date night. We watched television together, but it was not an intentional date night. The intentional date night, we are conscious of dating, that we're conscious and it's intentional. Things do happen sometime on the day-to-day that seem like a date. We might go for a walk or something, but when we're intentional in this date night.
The Thursday is the special, is the actual date night.
That's right.
Now, so there are always barriers to intimacy. So we're really talking about the words and the deeds, the dating, for example, that brings about intimacy, because we know the intimacy is not sex.
Right.
But intimacy, when you do it correctly over a period of time, leads to sex. Okay? And so women need the more intimacy to help them get to the sex with the male.
Right.
All right? So there are all kinds of barriers to intimacy. We've got health issues. If you got high blood pressure, if you're overweight, all those things kind of interfere with the time and attention that you would be focused on. Let us be close and together because you've got health problems. And then there's the work, there's the pressure, there's the all these things. Yes, they all exist. But you know what? We got a choice.
Right. Right.
We always have a choice in terms of I'm still with you.
Amen.
How do we make this I'm still with you good?
Amen. And we make it
Okay.
good because we decided. Now, one of the things about marriage, and we talked about it today, and we talked about it on Armstrong Williams show. We talked about the fact that marriage is a decision. Love is an emotion. Marriage is a decision. You choose to be married. You choose to stay married. It's a decision, and we talk about that often. Oh, what you said the other day, find something about you. Let's get physical. Let's get physical.
So we're doing these little 30-second snippets. We're trying to figure out where they're going to go. But like a word, and out of that word comes, we do a little short, little story, a little vignette about it. But let's get physical. That was a good one.
Yes.
And let's get physical says, find something physical about your mate that you love.
Yes.
That you can remind them of. Like you've got the cutest ears. Or I love the mole on your nose. Or I like your butt because it's twice as big as mine and it just excites me to see it. I mean, just think about that. The two of you, it'll make you laugh.
Yep. I like your toes. You told me one time you liked my toes.
Yeah, I do like your toes.
So find something.
Think about that. I mean, you're just talking to each other. It'll make you smile. It'll make you laugh.
Yes.
And it brings you closer together. That's something that's intimate.
It's intimate. Look, it's the little things that make the big difference. Okay, tell us about some of the things you have.
Okay. One is the 6-second kiss. Now, I don't know if we had talked about that before.
We did that before.
But as we do a lot of research, some things keep coming up, which means it must work, right?
Yep.
So the 6-second kiss. Now, that's based upon research by John Gottman. You know, John Gottman is like Dr. John Gottman. He's like one of the gurus in the emotional space for relationships.
Yes.
And so he talks about the fact that the research on romance and connection recommends greeting your partner each time you see each other with a 6-second kiss. That's just long enough to start to get that warm feeling. Try it.
Try it. Try that with your.
It says long enough to feel intimate with your partner, but not overly consuming, so you want to move on to the next phase, and you got to go to work, or you got to do something else, right?
And I would want to move on to the next phase. I would want that next phase.
But then you can, number 2, you can make out.
Ooh.
So that's a longer than a 6-second. So perhaps when you are at the end of your day and you've had dinner, or maybe in lieu of dinner, you choose to make out.
I would much rather dinner than, I'd much rather making out than dinner. I'll get dinner tomorrow. Okay, let's see. Terrence says there's a difference between relationship and love. If couples will only understand that the work is in the relationship. Yeah, because love is an emotion. Relationship, marriage is a decision. And you must decide to stay married. You must decide to be in a relationship. You must decide. Because emotions are fleeting. They change.
I think what Terrence is saying is that you have to, what is the nature of the relationship that you need to work on? And I think mutual respect and appreciation opens that door.
And Moses said, have dinner in bed. Come on, Moses.
I love it.
Yes, just fix that all together. Do I have to choose bed or dinner? I'll do both.
Okay, I'll write that one down. Dinner in bed.
Yeah. Okay, what's the next one?
Okay. So let me write that one down. I'm expanding my list.
All right. Share good news.
Share good news.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Especially over the last couple of years, everything it has been gloom and doom. And now things are starting to you feel like a cloud has been lifted.
Yeah.
If you share good news when you see your mate, it just makes you smile and you feel warm all over. Offer them some good news.
So in Proverbs 15th chapter 30th verse, it talks about good news is good for your spirit. It's good for your soul. It's like medicine for your bones. It makes you fit as a fiddle, according to the Message version. And so, give your spouse some good news. Don't just say, you know, a lot of people. We just had a funeral for my brother's father-in-law. Okay, my brother passed away a number of years ago, but his wife's or his widow's father died a couple weeks ago, and I spoke at the funeral last week. And one thing he would always say, we were good
Terrence
friends.
said picnic in bed. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
I like that term. And one of the
Okay.
things he would always ask you when he saw you was this: "What's good? Tell me something good." And you know, when you really look at that statement and you diagnose or you dissect that statement, what's good? Give me something good.
So you really have to stop and think.
You have to think. If you
And
really
it
answer
changes your emotional state.
something good, rather than saying what's happening or what's going on. You know, people say, "Oh, not much," but what's good? Tell me one thing good. And I said that to my assistant this morning. I pressed her. She said, "Well, I woke
You
up."
really had to stop and
She
think.
said, "Well, I woke up." I said, "That's good. That's good. Tell me something good." So we want you to tell your spouse something good.
Now,
And ask.
sexologists, did you know that's become a very popular thing? Maybe I need to study that. Sexologist. There's a sexologist, okay? And her name is Nicole Cordos. And she's the founder of an organization. Here, the letters JRNI. And this was an article that she made comments in Bustle, BUSTLE, which seems to be a popular site for relationships, singles, and the like. And she said intentionality or leaning in and sharing something positive, positive thoughts and experiences with your partner will elevate your mood jointly.
Wow.
So saying something positive to your mate, your spouse, makes you both feel better. You know, it's even when you gotta stop and think about, oh, I gotta think of something positive.
Right.
It just lifts your mood overall.
I love that.
Okay.
Send a text when you're thinking
That's
of
the
it.
easy one.
And I do that often.
What is your biggest, your closest tool is this is your computer. Everything in the world is right there in the phone, right?
Yep.
So you can send a text, something, a little emoji. I'm just thinking of you in the midst of everything else that you're doing. And that's something sweet.
I love that. No. Yes, indeed. What's good? What's good? You got to breathe. I like what Moses said. And Terrence in my dentist's office sent me a refund check. Hey now,
Wow,
I'm
nice.
overpaid. That's good. So we got 1 more minute left. Tell them one more thing.
We have 1 more minute.
Yep, our time is almost up. The good times go quickly. While she's looking at that, I want to let you know we are starting a series. I want y'all to join up, sign up for the series. It's jollymarriage.com/series, a 10-part series. It's $30. We're going to do a deep dive every week or in every session. It might not be every week, whatever way it comes off, that it will be. You can do them in do any way you want because they're going to be on demand. And it's a deep dive into each one of the chapters, the 10 chapters from the book, that we can go into a deep dive and you can take your spouse, your significant other, and it's a class. And so go to jollymarriage.com/series. You can buy them series by session, $30 a session, or you can get the whole caboodle for $250. That's a great discount. So go to jollymarriage.com/series. Also, go to jollymarriage.com and get the book. Get 2 copies. This week we got more people who have been ordering 2 copies. We've been signing and sending out books.
Keep your romance alive.
We want to keep it going, so get that romance going.
Okay, we'll keep this going next week.
Yep.
The last one is more physical affection. Put more physical affection into your day. That means, like we started.
Yeah.
More touching.
More touching.
So you got the 6-second kiss, you got the long lingering kiss, like when y'all first met and really got into it, and we're ending it with
the 6-second kiss.
Get physical. No,
get physical.
Touch their body.
She always, if y'all can see what she's doing here, y'all be surprised. Look, Terrence said, thank you, Terrence, for the Crystal Cathedral. If you go to you go to jollygoodnews.org.
Aww.
Jollygoodnews.org. You'll be able to see My message from the Crystal Cathedral was very powerful. Good, praise God for that. And thank you, Yvonne Williams, for sharing this. Make love, make money, make it last, and some of the resources there. Look, we're just so glad y'all are here.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank y'all for joining us from wherever you came from.
Any
Tell
questions,
Lottie
anything
Dottie
we
and
do that this
everybody to join us next Monday night, 9 o'clock Eastern. And for all of those on IG, thank y'all for joining. Tell everybody to join us. And we just joined Clubhouse. So we're doing some events on Clubhouse. We did our first one Saturday
Was
night.
that Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last room? Is that what it was? I don't know.
No,
what you did.
it
What
was just sex, money, communication.
Oh.
We made a room.
Sex,
But you don't,
money.
they can't, it's not recorded.
Oh.
You can't go back and see that. You got to be on it. So we'll be doing more.
I'm learning.
All right, follow us. Follow us on all the social media. You'll know what we're doing. Hey, we got to go. This is Dr. Willie Jolley.
And this is Taylor-Jolley.
Jolley out.
Jolley out.
God bless y'all.